Hey YouTube, this is Bill. I got some feedback from my last video, which was an introductory video about the differences between the new Bose S1 Pro Plus, which is on the right, and the legacy model or the original model, which is on the left. Some people commented the fact that I was going by specs or from other reviewers' opinions. And that I didn't actually have the S1 Pro in front of me. So I got it right here, and we're going to do a sound test today because what I had said was I thought there wouldn't be much difference because the specs are identical. The low frequency number and the high frequency, I think it's 16 Hz where it goes up to, nothing's changed. The amplifier is the same. The woofers and the tweeters or the drivers are exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is the shape of the box, slightly different. There is a 1 pound difference of the box itself. The new S1 Pro Plus is slightly lighter. And I'm going to tell you right now, I lifted them both and I can't tell any difference. So I hope you're not going to make that as a purchasing decision. I think if you put a couple of leaves on the Bose S1 Pro Plus, it'll be equal on a scale. Really, I didn't feel any difference. So, here's a difference right away. I didn't realize this on my first video. You see on the speaker to the left, the legacy model, the original, there's your nice blue power light. They've done away with it. I don't like that. I like to know my power is on. Of course, if you go to the side of the speaker, that's where you see your LCD screens lit up. But I like to be able to look at it from a distance, straight on, maybe from where the audience is sitting. And I don't see any power on the new model. So that's definitely a negative. So we're going to do a sound test today. I'm going to start off with a track that is all high end. So we'll do 2 tracks, one high end and one low end, and we'll see if we hear any differences. I have a mixer. It's the Behringer X1205. It's a pretty nice mixer. I'm able to A/B them quickly. And what I have one speaker on the left, the original S1 Pro. That's where I'm running that from the main out. And then the Plus model, I have that in a control room out. So when I hit a button, you'll see it on the mixer. The one mutes and the other it comes on. So they're not both playing at the same time. So that's really nice. And I've set each speaker, it took me a while to do this, by the way. Each speaker is playing 85 dB. I'm using a dB meter. And the reason I picked that number is because what I've read on professional mixers, producers, they use that number. It's not too loud, where it's kind of just starts getting distortion or your ear might get fatigued, and it's not too low. You want to have some dynamics. So I spent some time, both speakers are at 85 dB. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this test is for my own curiosity, and that is a couple of the people on the Bose L1 website, I'm not going to mention names, but both people are very, I respect them on their opinions, both pros, and they claimed that the S1 Pro Plus is improved. And they mentioned the bass response, and they mentioned the DSP is obviously changed because now there's an app controlling the DSP. And they mentioned the bass response is probably different because of port tuning. So I was very curious, and I got the models next to each other at the same distance, at the same volume, with a mixer that can A/B them instantaneously. And let's see if those other people's opinions on YouTube, because you have to be very careful of who you listen to, if they are correct. Let's see if the new S1 Pro, if there's a sonic difference. Because I was saying I didn't believe so because the specs didn't change. But they said, no, there's a definite audible difference. So here we go, the first sound test. The source is going to be this mini synthesizer called the Korg Minilog XD, and I have it set on a loop. It's kind of an annoying piece of music, but it has some really nice high end, and it keeps repeating, looped. So it'll be a good judge of the high-end quality of the speakers. By the way, both speakers are set flat. There is no bass boost, no treble boost. Here is the mixer I'm using. That would be a separate video, Behringer. Here is my dB meter, and here is the channel I have the keyboard set up to. Okay, so that's on channel 1. Everything is at unity, and I'm going to be using a pencil, and when I press the mute button, when the light goes on, that will be the Pro, the S1 Pro Plus. When the light goes off, that is the Legacy or the original model. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, the mute light is on, so that means that's the S1 Pro Plus that will be playing. When I press it off, that's the Legacy, the original model. So I'm going to be going back and forth, Pro Plus, Legacy, original model. Okay? I am sure this is what those other reviewers did not do. This is really going to give us the definitive answer. Are these speakers different? And people are asking me, a number of people have asked me, is it worthwhile to upgrade their S1 Pro for the new model for sonics alone? And my recommendation was no, because the specs haven't changed, but I was going by just my opinion. But now this is going to be the real test. So here we go. When I press, the mute light comes on, and that's the S1 Pro Plus. When I mute it off, that's the original model. Here we go. We're going to start with the S1 Pro, the original model. The mute light is off. Okay, I don't know about you golden ears audiophiles out there, but I heard zero difference. They both sound excellent, but the high end, when I switched back and forth A-bead, I personally did not hear anything. But then again, I'm a drummer who has been playing for many years. Maybe my high-end listening skills aren't where they should be. I'll leave that up to you. But of course, remember, you're listening through my recording from an iPhone 13. I'm not using high-tech microphones like some other YouTubers might be doing. So I'm doing low-tech here. So test number 1, high frequency. I personally heard no difference. I would not upgrade if you're trying to get a cleaner high end. Let's go on to the low frequency test, a different track. Moving on to our test number 2, low end. Again, a loop from the Mini-Log Korg. We'll keep repeating. Everything is set at unity on the keyboard and the mixer. There's no distortion. The speakers are leveled by the dB meter. Both speakers will be playing at the same dB, which is 80, about approximately as close as it can get it, 85 dB. And that's where a lot of YouTube reviews go south. And that is they don't spend the time when I'm doing it, and it does take quite a bit of time. They don't level match the speakers. So the ear automatically thinks that the louder speaker is the better speaker, especially on the low fidelity of YouTube, even if you're using headphones. Anytime you hear something louder, you say, oh yeah, that's the better speaker. It's more dynamic. But if the speakers aren't set exactly equally, it's not an even playing field. So you really can't be fooled. Don't make your purchase. My suggestion, what I was saying before the video cut out, the best way to do it, of course, is to buy both speakers, A/B them in your home so you can hear it yourself, not through a YouTube video microphone, and then return one. Of course, don't tell this to Guitar Center or Sweetwater. They'll ban me forever. Okay, for our last video is a bass track. Again, it's a loop, and let's hear if we hear any difference. And because this is what the people had said, that the port was retuned and they heard difference of bass frequency or better bass, even though the specs don't show it. So let's see if we can hear it. Again, when you see the mute light on channel 1 there, that means that's the plus model, and when I unmute it, that's the original model. Here we go. Well, that was interesting. I did hear a slight difference when I turned on the original, the S1 Pro. It seems like it was a little more efficient, got a little louder. As far as the actual bass response, very, very similar. Unless you were A-Bing them like I'm doing here, you would never know the difference, especially if you were doing it from memory, turning on one speaker, playing a track, and then turning on the other speaker. I don't know how people can even compare speakers like that unless you A-B them instantaneously like I'm doing, at least with my ears. To sum it up, should you upgrade if you already have the S1 Pro like I do? I have a pair. I have a buyer that's ready to buy them. Should I upgrade? Well, personally, for the features, I don't need the app because I'm running through a mixer. I don't need the wireless feature. That's wonderful. Personally, I don't need that. But if you're just considering upgrading for the sound by itself, have they improved the sound signature? I'm going to say definitely no from my test. I did not hear anything. On the first track, I didn't hear any difference on the high-end track. On the bass track, I did hear some slight differences. I don't know which one you like better, but that's your opinion. But I'll tell you one thing, if you didn't have them side by side, they are so close and the specs show it. So that's my conclusion. I would not recommend upgrading for the new Plus model if you're looking for better sound. This is Bill. Hope you enjoyed.